American Airlines flight ran into some, shall we call it turbulence earlier today. The problem is the flight was still on the ground. It was on the tarmac, and according to passengers, a flight attendant, if you haven't heard this story, this is something you want to listen carefully to. She took control of the PA system, the public address system, and began to rant, reportedly mentioning the word crash and referencing September 11th, and then screaming. We actually have a little bit of audio. A guy, a CNN international news reporter, held up his recorder, and watch this.
I just want off the plane. Please sedate her.
Actually, that report came in from a CNN iNews reporter. If it would be an iNews reporter, they would know to hold up a video phone. The flight attendant reportedly then had to be restrained by passengers and other crew members. Cheryl, can you imagine being on that flight?
You know what? When I first heard it, I said to myself, obviously, I think right away somebody hasn't had their medication. Okay?
Or too much. Too much of something. Too much of somebody's medication.
Or at the very least, this person is upset about what's going on within their company, and they have reached a breaking point because she lost it.
There was that guy that jumped off the plane. Remember the guy that got on the PA, jumped off the plane?
That's right.
Stephen
Slater.
Right. Do you have any inside info about this, Dylan? I always look to you for the real scoop.
He got fired for his job, of course, and but he was lauded as being an absolute superstar. People said that he did the right thing, fed up finally with the passengers. And I've got to say, what we don't know is what predicated this. If this woman was giving the announcement to the passengers and someone was talking when she was giving a safety talk, well, I don't blame her for getting a little agitated.
Yes,
Perhaps,
Dylan,
perhaps.
They do.
She's an American hero, Dr. Drew. She's an American hero.
She was going absolutely bananas. She was shrill.
Yeah.
When they say she was railing, she was... Listen to that.
Is this American Airlines?
This was American Airlines.
I've got to say, I flew American Airlines recently, and the air hostesses or stewardesses were complaining about their work conditions. So maybe she's fed up with her employer.
Yeah, that could be
Well,
it.
but again, Mark, out to you. The flight attendant that became sort of what we call him, a folk hero for having been fed up. You know, I've had enough. I'm going to speak out, speak my mind. He at least seemed sane when he did it, even though he did something insane. This woman is doing something insane and seems insane, and it scared people, right?
Right. No, my first reaction was, this is hilarious, and then I thought about the people on the flight, and me being on the flight, I'd be petrified. So then I moved to, I'm scared, and then finally it moved to compassion, because no one in their right mind would behave this way. And when I read that they're alleging that she had a reaction to her medication, I said, there's got to be something to this.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what's to this. It's more than the medication, I promise. It would be a hell of a lot of medication, and it'd be medication maybe she was taking illicitly. But whatever it is, let's be fair. This is somebody who really is in trouble psychiatrically and was taken to a hospital appropriately, Dylan.
And so was another hostess taken to the hospital who had intervened to try and stop her and became physically assaulted in the confrontation.
I mean, I don't know about you guys. When I fly, I'm ready to fly out of my seat and help out. I really am. Aren't you?
I'm not.
You're not?
No. I want the exit row, and I do not want to be disturbed.
So you've been the guy blowing up the chute and would have headed out.
Absolutely. And Stephen Slater, you said he was normal. He cracked open a beer before he went down the chute.
I didn't say he was
That's normal.
I said he seemed normal, but he did something insane, but at least people could sort of relate
At least
to.
he had a beer to soothe his throat as he was going down the chute.
I just feel sorry for this woman that she reached that point, and some folks, you know, they immediately thought it was funny. I think we have an issue with mental illness in this country that we don't really want to deal with.
Yes.
And there are a lot of people right now under a great deal of stress, and they are trying to hold on, but some of them are just not holding on. And when that brain gets broken, that is a moment when we all need to pay attention, because in times like these, it could be any one of us.
No, that is absolutely true. We're having a little fun with this, but the fact is this is serious mental illness we're hearing about here. Mark, one last question to you is, people who were traumatized or maybe even injured subduing this woman, do they have any kind of legal remedies?
In theory, I don't see it going anywhere. I think that people recognized right away that this was a woman who was disturbed.